Previously, on Coriolis, the crew of the Ghazali continued their scenic space cruise, if by scenic you mean free-falling into a star while everyone on the ship argued, panicked, or joined a death cult. Upon reaching a stranded chapel, our heroes discovered survivors, stuck 100 meters across open vacuum. The only way over? A tense game of orbital hopscotch. 4 exosuits, 1 hyper rope, and Dent. Part man, part rock, all heart, volunteering to play human space Uber, 1 body at a time. No tip required. Inside, the survivor spread included the wounded, the combative, and 1 group that had chosen fire-based martyrdom over rescue. But hey, bigger problems, like the Ghazali's reactor suffering a catastrophic coolant failure, giving all living passengers 57 minutes before they all became mandatory attendees at a very unconventional space barbecue. Enter the Nakatra. Again. But plot twist, this time one of them talks. Reasonably. Politely. Like a civilized space werewolf diplomat even. Surely, negotiating with the Elder was the logical course, and not a step towards being baddies. Naturally, that's when Shaba shoots a guy in the face. In public. With witnesses. Survivors. Icons. The Workplace Safety Board. You could feel the morale drop through the ground. If space had a ground to drop through. Cue the ethical gymnastics. Cargo or people. Stack survivors like cordwood. Arguments. Swearing. Logistics by panic. Somehow, they pulled it off. Through equal parts teamwork, screaming, and enough OSHA violations to make a safety inspector vomit into their helmet. They launched. Barely. Leaving behind a ghost ship on fire and at least 1 new workplace trauma. And as they drifted towards safety, a vision. Stars. Judgment. A cryptic child. And a unified agreement to never speak of this incident to any OSHA workers. Today, the adventure continues.
Alright, so that is where we will pick up. Everybody had just moved away, or everybody had been on the, what was it, Fatima's Bounty. And you began to make your way from the Ghazali to Hammurabi Station, which was about a half a day's journey away. So, while you are making the voyage, is there anything anybody would like to do, talk about, roleplay prior to making it there?
I guess I would probably just be monitoring all the controls and everything to make sure the ship is flying correctly.
Okay.
If
Marcus,
I recall correctly, Dent still doesn't know the Nakatra are on board. Aren't they like hidden behind like a half wall?
Yes. The crates were kind of stacked around and they were hidden inside there. Here we go. Can I zoom in on this? No, I can't. I was going to say, this is the Hammurabi system. The Hamura system, I'm sorry. This, I don't know if you guys can even see that. This is where the portal was that the Ghazali was trying to go through. This is the other portal, and then this is the space station you're going to. Just for reference.
Imogen is trying to redeem herself for not thinking of offering food to the werewolf guys blanking on their names earlier, and is just She's spending this time being the most immaculate host to both groups that any single person could possibly be. And it might be driving her a little fucking insane because she left that life for reasons. Including not being very good at this.
Dentist's gonna take a nap, like standing upright, leaning back against a bulkhead.
All right.
Marcus would kind of be hanging around the same area as Lady Imogen, just basically trying to make sure that things are as stable and safe in the cargo holds with all the people and the cargo and the space werewolves. But, trying to be discreet about it.
And as of now, nobody had informed the passengers that there were space werewolves. They went on first. And then there's the 10 crates kind of blocking them in.
Yeah. That's
I see no reason why these two groups need to know about each other. I feel like that's just going to cause undue strife, and nobody really needs to deal with that, so let's just not.
Do we know if there was anybody on the crew manifest of the Ghazali by the name of Chekhov? Is his gun missing?
Well, you guys did take some pistols off of some of the people on the bridge, so it's entirely possible.
Can you tell me how we ended up in the wrong place in the first place?
Everybody. So originally there was a distress signal sent from a mining colony, and the Legion had sent their destroyer Zafara, along with the Ghazali, which was a old luxury liner, and a bunch of other ships and a bunch of volunteers to go to this mining colony and to try and rescue the people who were working there. You were put into hypersleep to go through the portal. You made it through everybody made it through the first portal, but when you were trying to go through the second portal, something happened. You woke up. The vast majority of the people on the ship besides yourselves had died due to radiation sickness. And all you know was there was a incident that happened.
Okay, so we don't know why we ended up next to the sun there, and
because that's where the portal is to go to the next system.
Okay,
but then
so we ended up going to the wrong portal.
No, something happened when you were trying to go through the portal. The Legion destroyer Zafara went through first, and it's gone, and the portal is also gone.
Oh, okay.
And the Ghazali was damaged enough to where it couldn't pull out of the sun's gravity. So that's why you ended up there. That's just where the portal happened to be. And then something happened that disabled the ship, destroyed the majority of the other ships, and then killed the majority of the passengers.
Okay, so it's just kind of a coincidence that we ended up where this space station is. This wasn't our original destination.
It was not your original destination. This is kind of think of it like a wayside gas station. The Homura system and the Hammurabi station in particular only gets, a few people going through it just when they're traveling from portal to portal. This isn't a big destination system.
Makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else anybody would like to do, say?
Sure. If no one else has got anything, Shaba's gonna go find Marcus.
Marcus, like I said, hanging out in and around the cargo bay.
Remind me, did Marcus ever introduce himself, or is it still "Hey, face guy"?
We all our backstory was that we all know each other already, and that we're coming in we just.
No, we ended up.
Oh, did we? Did we throw that all out?
Yeah, because everybody kind of came up with their own. I would say at least surface value backstory.
Okay.
That was something that the game system introduced just to make that part easier. but
Gotcha.
we don't need the whole like you guys have known each other just because you guys have played together before. So
Okay. All right, cool. So no, I haven't said anything about myself other than being, charismatic and facey.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Hey, Face. Hey, guy. What was your name again?
Marcus.
Nice to meet you, Marcus. Just
Nice.
kind of wanted to bring a heads up to you about a few things. So, on the way here, I got a little trigger happy, and I'm thinking the crowd here is not going to want to see me up close and personal. See, I'm kind of like a more of a reaction. There's a problem, deal with it, and let other people sort it out kind of guy.
Mm.
I sorted maybe a little too hard. I mean, I thought the overall goal was just to get everybody the hell off that ship, which is what you wanted, right?
Oh yeah, I mean as many as possible.
Okay, that's
Huh?
kind of what I was going for. I was hoping I didn't
Yeah.
have to break too many eggs, as it were. But you remember that cadet guy?
Oh yeah.
He will not be joining us for the rest of his life.
Ah.
Um,
Well, I would expect that of anybody who wasn't among those who made it onto the ship. So,
that's
bummer.
fair. However, you see all those guys over there, and Shaba kind of points to all the people.
Hmm.
Saw my hasty negotiation with him.
Mm.
I don't know if you want to. I don't know how it's
Well,
going down when we get to the port.
how
We keep distance from everybody, or what?
well, how upset were they with you? Did they because I don't know, maybe I'm having my own personal memories and judgment of the guy color my memories, but I feel like he wasn't very well liked.
No, I don't think it was that they liked him. I think it was the fact that I flat out drew a pistol, told him to shut the fuck up. He didn't. He started monologuing, and I ended the monologue with a high caliber slug.
Cool. Um, Good context. I love it. Let's just moving forward do a little less of that. Um, but I think if we make enough of a deal of publicly reprimanding and punishing you, I mean, we all know that I feel like what you did was maybe a step further than we wanted to go, but nothing that's like we're gonna like throw you in the brig forever or anything sort of thing. But if we just kind of like make these folks feel like you have been reprimanded, chastened a bit, makes our mingling once we get to port a little easier.
Seems reasonable. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Sounds good.
All right. Well,
Um,
what do you
you wanna
think will
handle
is there something you feel like would particularly appease these folks? A little bit of flair you want to add to it? Let me preface it with this. You are clearly a valuable resource to this crew, and we would all be put at a disadvantage if you were to not be able to perform your duties to the fullest and leverage your skills. So I don't want to do anything that would prevent that, but we also want to make sure these
Yeah.
people don't try to draw and quarter you when we hit port.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. I mean, how do you want to handle it? You just let me know, because I just wanted to get as many people off there as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And he was stopping well, he literally had us stopped in the middle of a freaking hallway with more not so friendly Nakatra running around, and the fastest way to get everyone moving again was to make a very solid statement, and maybe I got a little overzealous.
Yeah. And remind me, out of character, real quick. Does Shaba know about the Nakatra that we're smuggling or have stowed?
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
We were talking. I remember bits and pieces. I don't remember.
I believe you guys were in contact with comms while that was happening.
I said, I think it was Shaba actually said something about, why don't you make a wall with the crates and hide them?
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, back in. Yeah, I think that we can. I think that we can make a big enough, perhaps. All right. Sorry, backing out one more. Would these folks have seen, Marcus and well, they wouldn't know that necessarily that Marcus knows about this. So it was all right, back in. So tell you what, why don't we start a little bit of a scene between us here, where so you're telling me this, and I'm not taking it quite like this.
Right.
And I'll talk you down a bit and let you know how absolutely unacceptable what you did was, and how if we didn't need every single able-bodied person on this ship being able to be free to do what they needed, I would throw you in the brig and never let you out. And we will figure out what your fate will be once we get to port.
Got it. I'll start.
All right.
Shaba gets much louder.
So you can just give the you gave the general vibe of what you're going for, so you don't have to play out the whole thing. What I will say is, now that I know what you're going for, why don't we go
General vibe.
with...
I was gonna yell, but this is bullshit, sir, and hand his pistol to Marcus. I was just trying to get everyone off of there as fast as I could. I'm sorry. I fucked up, all right?
Sorry doesn't bring, or doesn't bring that man back to life, doesn't bring his family any solace, doesn't bring any solace to the people who looked up to him here.
All right, Marcus, give me a manipulation check, but you can add 2 to it because of Shaba's involvement.
So if I'm reading my sheet right, that means I'm rolling 10d6?
That is correct.
Fantastic. 2 6s.
Oh, all right. So as this little charade is going on, and especially...
I believe it's pronounced charade. Thank you very much.
As the charade continues, your audience notices. As you see them kind of... At first, they kind of back away a little bit when your voices start to raise, but as soon as Shaba hands you the pistol and you seem to be taking control of the situation, you do notice that the majority of the saved members that were originally backing away and looking at the entire crew as though you were going to shoot them at any second seem to visibly relax. They all do still give Shaba kind of the wary eye. They're still kind of trying to keep an eye on him, but they don't seem like they actively believe they're going to be shot if they sneeze.
And I assume that we are in close enough proximity, and their reaction, I would, Marcus wouldn't be outside his right to be to all of a sudden be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice you there," and just be like, "Hey, I know," and you'd be like, "Shaba, you go sit in your room and you think about what you've done.
Think about what you did."
And then just give a very brief, because I'm clearly very emotional and flustered right now, and it wasn't right what he did, but we are all in this together now. We need to we're a stone's throw from home, from safety. We'll all get there, but only if we get there together. Don't be a dick. Storm off.
Everybody starts slow clapping. No, I'm kidding. But no, like I said, you have their demeanor seems to have veered from outright fear to more of just general wariness,
Just
combined
wait till we
with
see the space werewolves.
Spare wolves.
spare wolves. All right, episode title. Possibility: spare wolves. All right, mark down. All right.
Well, Shabbat doesn't really have a room, so he's gonna find his way to the bridge and just say, "Hey, Fly Guy, if you need anything, I'm over here. I'm kind of on probation for a minute."
I specifically said you were on timeout, soldier.
Oh, my bad. I'm out.
What
I can-
Fixer would,
Go ahead.
Fixer would look up from the console and say, "You know, that was a pretty good job you did down there. I was taking bets with Egregious to see if you just wanted to space everyone or not, but it seems like you guys did pretty good there."
I don't think I knew that he shot the guy, did I? Because I was in the ship the whole time.
Oh well, I had
Or were
them
we
on
on, like-
speakerphone. I
Yeah.
had them on speaperphone while they were having that conversation,
Okay.
just us
All
on the
right.
bridge.
Yeah.
So when he came up, it was like, hey,
So yeah,
good
you
one."
heard everything. So you're aware.
Okay.
Imogen gets even more irritated after this because all the work she's been doing to try to, like, you know, be a good hostess and shit, and these guys just fucking put everyone at their ease. Once again, she missed her mark, and just, God fucking damn it.
All right. Anything anybody else would like to do for the remainder of the 12-hour journey?
I just have to say, I would guess that the people that were part of that guy's group were probably completely fine with him being shot. I can't imagine anybody liked that guy at all.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh no, we just pretend like he was important. Oh, but, such a bummer. That guy, he didn't make it.
We'll like anybody who saves us. All right. So in that case, you.
Actually, I would like to
Oh.
make one note.
Yep.
For the curious, I'm putting the meme in chat, but I'd like you all to know that Dent is a honk me snorer, not a honk shoe snorer.
Good to know. Important tidbits of
I'm going to
information
find
that are now
some
canon.
Some way to work that into the previously on for the next one.
Yes.
I can't believe
like
that wasn't
in the
part of all of
background
our backstories.
How you snore? I think that is going to be a backstory question for now on. Which wolf are you? All right. So. All right. Then, as you continue, you finally do arrive at the Hammurabi station. So the docking.
I am sorry, but
Yes.
but the top of that station
It
looks
looks-
like a fucking horror.
It looks like a
Looks like
like
a
a clown's
creepy-
head or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't unsee that either.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
everybody else that we were going into the station all with the same view of it. That was very important to me.
Yeah,
So,
this is
Yeah,
very clearly
is-
a villain's Gundam.
It is a horrible mixture of a clown and a spider, and
Yes,
I
it
really
is.
fucking hate it. But
Yeah,
all you need to do
I've
is,
been
like,
trying to
the
find other
ocean
images
depths
that
in
I could
there
use
and-
instead of that, and I just haven't.
Marcus, give me my gun back.
Gotta
Marcus,
shoot
give me the
that
gun.
thing. All right. So, the docking clamps shudder into place with a low, echoing groan. Lights flicker along the airlock as you wait for pressurization. For a few moments, no one moves. Even your ship, scratched, smoke-stained, seems to exhale. Then the airlock hisses open, and who would be at the airlock door as you dock with the station? Marcus? Anybody else?
yeah, I think
Imogen?
Marcus would be.
Dent would have woken up like 30 seconds before the docking happens, to just like snap awake and then go stand like at the ready to like help haul people and stuff.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, what was the question?
Just who would be at the airlock door as the docking clamps kicked in? So you would be up in at least until you were safely docked,
Yeah.
and then you could exit the bridge. Shaba.
Hey, can we retcon like a half hour before we get there?
Sure.
I think somewhere around that point, Shaba would realize, I need to talk. Well, so Egregious and Fixer are with me, right?
Up on the bridge, yes.
Hey guys. What exactly happens with our wolf friends once we get to the port?
Yeah, I had the same question myself.
So maybe talk. Can you like hail Marcus and have him come up and talk to us, or Imogen, or one of the two who's dealing with them? Because I'm on house arrest.
Does Marcus have a communicator?
I would. Yeah, you all have something, but I know Marcus does. I actually shouldn't say you all have something because I don't know if you all do, but I know Marcus does.
I know I have.
Yeah.
I remember it wasn't as good as Shavas, but I have a communicator.
I have a Comlink 5.
I would like to think we have like on
an
a
iPhone 10
monitor
or something.
like a camera feed of the docking bay too, so we'd probably see Lady Imogen like doing her thing too. So yeah, I mean one of them might be able to see if they could check in on their plans for us. I don't know if they just plan to find a dark corner of the station or if they want to stick around longer.
Okay, hear me out. We stack them 3 high and put them in a trench coat, and they just walk off.
I think that'd be really tall, though.
Yeah, they were like 10 feet tall,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you could
yeah.
try that. You can absolutely try.
So what I'm hearing is that we would need to put them in a couple trench coats.
Like half of each of them in a trench coat, so that they're like normal size.
Perfect.
Oh, one second.
Are there any kind of in universe? Do you know? Would we expect any kind of like customs passport space passport? Excuse me, situation.
I wouldn't say like a space passport, and normally you would have like your cargo checked, like just kind of making sure you were on the level.
Yeah.
This is a bit of an extenuating circumstance. This wouldn't be like a normal, you're just docking at a station.
Well, I don't think Marcus is in the bridge, so I can ask the question of the current bridge crew
Oh, yes.
since we're all here. Egregious, do we want to file a distress signal or a notification for emergency standby medical services for all these people down here? I don't know if that affects our Nakatra situation, but typically when you escape from a burning craft or whatever, I think that's procedure, right?
Yeah, is the Hammurabi station like owned by some government or something, or like would there be like a government?
I wouldn't say it was a government facility so much as they're kind of privately owned by each of the systems themselves, kind of kept up by the inhabitants of that system. All of the different groups in the Third Horizon are welcome, except for there's a couple of specific systems that, like the Order of the Pariah, won't let anybody else in. But the vast majority of them are, think of it like privately owned, but there's a unspoken and spoken agreement to allow free use of them.
Okay, but would there be like an authority of some sort to like report this to and ask for assistance?
You would probably, in this instance, you would probably just reach out to the station itself. You know that the Legion is the one who put together this rescue effort, so they would want to be notified, but I wouldn't say there was any specific government or organizational body beyond that.
Does Legion Or do we know if the Legion has a presence on the station?
I wouldn't say you know offhand. Every station's a little different, and it is definitely up to the individual groups themselves on how much of a presence they have on any station. The more regularly used the station, the more likely they are to have a larger presence. So it's possible that not every group will have a presence on every station, but the groups could get there relatively quickly.
But it still makes sense for us to get a hold of the station, let them know we're coming, and ask if they have a contingent.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess probably retconning before we got to the station, I probably would have hailed the station and like informed them of our situation, and asked if they can provide any medical assistance for some people.
And they would have, because they would have been tracking the Ghazali and the Legion Destroyer Safara, like going to this mining colony for a rescue mission. It would have been like news, like horizon wide. Everybody would kind of know that this big group was amassing to go rescue these. They're the people who were on the mining colony. So when you would reach out to the Hammurabi station, they would know, and the fact that something happened and the gate is gone, like they wouldn't be caught completely off guard. So they would give you a particular dock to dock at, and then they would tell you that there will be individuals and medical personnel who will meet you there.
Sounds good.
Dent is fully prepared to point at the gate and say it was like that when we got here.
I didn't do it this time. All right. Any other kind of...
Do we want to chat with our friends in cargo and see if they have a plan for our special guests?
Absolutely, I want to. But again,
all right. Beep boop. Video call going out to Imogen and Marcus.
Can I just say, it's really great to have you around to do stuff like that, because I thought I had to walk down there and take care of this, but you got it handled. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, the programs on this ship are actually pretty good. I was usually don't see this. Whoever owned this before was quality tech.
Good to know.
There's no Saruman on this ship, though.
He's in the Emerald Disc.
I mean, could he be?
I mean, I don't think there's as sophisticated of an AI on this freighter as there was on the Ghazali.
No, but I mean, he's already on that disk. If we just use that disk as his storage space and kind of connect up sensors, I'm talking out of my league here. Fixer, is that something we could do?
Yeah, we could probably build some kind of bridge compatibility. It might take us a day or two, but if that's something we want to do, we could probably hook that up.
I mean, we could do that if we don't turn him into the authorities.
Right.
Just saying, you might want to have a conversation with Saruman on how he feels about that, because last thing I want is a pissed off ship AI. I mean...
So, this was discussed when you did pull the Emerald Disc, but the disc itself is encrypted with the Colonial Agency's dynamic cipher, and it is something that only Colonial Agency would be able to break.
Damn it. Fine.
Or possibly a data spider, but you would need much more sophisticated equipment to work with than you have access to at the present time. So I'm not saying it would be impossible for you to break that cipher, but it would be tough with the best of equipment.
Okay. I would add that disclaimer to the end of it. Yeah.
All right.
All right, so now you're on your video call
Marcus.
with Marcus's nose.
Hello.
One of us should probably talk to our furrier companion guest, interlopers, whatever you want to call them, and find out what exactly they're gonna do once we get to this station. I mean, I don't know what the procedure is for returning such creatures, but do they get their own? Do they get a say in it? What happens? How do you want
Well, they work for the Legion, so we're just going to get them back to the Legion. And if the Legion isn't here, then we'll leave them with whoever's in charge, and they'll get them back to the Legion. I don't understand what the big deal is.
Is that what they want to do?
I don't know.
I mean, do they?
Are they like werewolf slaves?
They did have during the conversation you had with the one that spoke. They did mention that they all have they had collars on, and they did mention that the person in control of the collar was no longer alive.
Does that mean that they're more or less free?
I mean, they still have the control collars on. They just don't have a legionnaire to make those decisions for them, to command them, basically. They did not specifically mention anything about wanting to be free.
Okay, well, that'd be worth discussing with them too. I would guess that they probably don't want to go back to the Legion, but well.
So I would be happy to try to use my my super sneaky skills, which I absolutely have, right? Right? Sure. Yeah, some infiltration there's in there, survival. That I'm sure that would all help me get behind the cargo crates to go talk to our a Nakatra elder friend and just be like, "Hey, what's up with the lowdown on this? What y'all want to do?"
All right, so first, give me an infiltration check. If you're trying to sneak back there without any of the other passengers seeing.
I'd rather them not, and I'd be happy to just if it helps, gives me an extra an inspiration point or whatever, to be make a big show of oh, I'm gonna hide all of that Shaba guy's violent stuff back here, and I'm gonna spend 20 minutes back here making sure I hide it real good.
Well, in that case, you wouldn't need to do the infiltration because you'd be telling them where you're going, so that would work.
All right.
Also, I've had in my head this idea that Imogen has been carrying trays of crudita and appetizers, and having one hand give them to the humans and the other one to the space behind the boxes for no reason, because she said she was entertaining both.
She did.
Oops, I slipped.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. No. I would be more inclined to make sure, or rather, Marcus would be more inclined to be like, I'm not even going to worry about man, there are plenty of people in here. They're going to see me coming in and out. Somebody would notice if they didn't notice me go in. There's the chance that they'd notice me coming out and be like, wait, I didn't see him go in. So I'm going to try to get around that by just being making a reason for going back there.
Okay.
And if it feels like it would gain me some brownie points with these guys to be like, oh god, that kind of So the vibe I'm going for here is the train scene from Dogma where Silent Bob throws the angels off the train. It's just no ticket.
All right.
I think you should sneak some sort of snacks in there with you, and then act like you got the snacks out from there.
All right.
And then people will be like, oh, well, there must be some snacks back there.
I better go check it out if there's snacks back there. Well, I will say
I will do all of those things except for the stuff that Lars was just talking about.
You do manage to get back there. People are watching you, but you do. I mean, obviously, you managed to make it back there without too much of a problem. And when you get back there, you do see I believe it was 20? Or was it 10? Hold on. I'm trying to remember how many Nakatra were back there. I had it written down, but I don't remember what I wrote.
It was two more than the OSHA-approved amount of Nakatra for a ship this size.
There were 8. 8 Nakatra. Including the...
Exactly as I said, yes.
What's the technical term for a group of Nakatra? Is it like a flock of Nakatra or
A clutch, I believe, is what they
bunch of
said.
Nakatra?
They
Well,
did.
A clutch is
They
10
did. They
of
did.
them.
They did mention clutches.
Yes, because we had multiple questions about purses.
Yes,
they
I believe.
mentioned
They
clutches.
mentioned how many clutches there were, and once they went on the ship, there was a lot of talk of trying to figure out what the clutches were. But I will say that question was never posed to the Nakatra themselves.
No.
So yes, there are 8 Nakatra back there to include the larger Alpha that had spoken earlier. And it does rise as you step around the crates, though it's even standing full, its full height, its head is like an inch away from the ceiling.
Like look up and just be like, like a little wave and like kind of like look meaningfully from whence I came and just be like, we're coming up on the state, like we're coming up on our first stop. Obviously, getting you off of this vessel or to your final destination is a nice and safely and without any incident to my crew or the rest of the folks that we're carrying here. It's a prime concern. Have any thoughts around that? How you would like to safely depart our company?
The Nakatra kind of leans down. As you lean forward, it leans down to you, and you can feel like it's just rank breath, hot all over your skin, and it puts its mouth close to your ear. And even trying to be quiet, you can hear like the low rumble of its voice. No, Commander. No. And then it taps on the collar. Control. And then it kind of points around. Need control. Can only keep for so long.
All right. We'll find you your control. Just stay here. Let me talk this over with the rest of my crew, but I think what we'll do is once we make port, we'll get everybody else off here and seal you in here with whatever you might need for the near term while we focus then on finding control for you.
How long?
As soon as we can. How long do you have?
Kind of looks back over her shoulder, bends down, like looks eye to eye with you, and just goes, soon.
Well-
I feel like that's the werewolf version of asking a developer, like, how soon will this code be done?
Oh, god damn it. And Marcus slowly becomes a project manager.
The answer is either sufficiently vague or really soon. Yeah.
I actually really liked the answer here because it was sufficiently vague, really soon, and also slightly threatening. It was great. It's perfect.
Yeah. So, like, all right, we'll make it soon. Anything else I should know?
Tell. Female. Food. Good.
Can do, buddy. Like Marcus will just kind of like work his way out then, and then upon exiting into the area where the rest of the the human survivors are, we'll just kind of like anybody who's like in the immediate vicinity of him, like basically just like the smallest group of three, like no more than three people, just like anybody nearby, you'd just be like, so hey, like especially anybody who noticed him come out, you'd just be like, so hey, I stashed some of Shaba's more violent implements back there. I would really appreciate it if she's like mum's the word. I'll come back for them once we land, but I just want to make sure you all are cared for. I'd like to trust him, but can never be too sure, you know.
They all just like nod their heads. Yes.
Like,
yes.
But whatever you do, like that's some real dangerous stuff back there. So don't go like this is the sort of thing that could go off without with a bad touch. So like don't even try to think. And then like this whole like threatening. It's like don't even try to think of going and like picking that up because we're gonna come back looking for it, and it's dangerous if you touch it.
Oh, okay. And they all actually like back away from where the little where you went through. They kind of give it a little more space.
All right. Good. There's like a little pep in his step, like walks by, and if Imogen is in the area, just be like, hey Imogen, I've heard through the grapevine your snacks are great. And just go back on to getting out of the area, and then as soon as it was clear from the storage hold, kind of radio back up to Shaba, Fixer, and all them, and just be like, should be sorted, and give them the quick rundown of what the agreement is and how we need to fucking get these things separated from our human cargo and then shut off ASAP. That's got to be priority numero uno, because who knows when they're going to go nuts, and we need to find some way of controlling them before we open that door again. Once we get the people out.
All right.
So it sounded like they wanted to be controlled. So how do we tip the Legion or whoever, even if they're on the station, off that we have special cargo for them?
I mean,
I guess we'll figure that out.
we just see if they got a contact here on the station, and if so, great. I mean, if there's any other survivors from that mess, hopefully one of them's a Legion, and at least can point us in the right direction on how to return these lost pups to where they want to go.
Do we?
You
work
just
with
asked
Legion?
to speak to the station head, and then everything gets taken care of for you. I don't understand why you guys keep making such a big deal out of this. It's really simple.
Imogen's a Karen?
Pretty much, yes. You're born with a certain amount of power, and these things happen. But this is,
And
this is
ask
also
to speak
kind
to
of
the manager, and everything gets taken care of.
I need to talk to the station manager now.
now. You, of course, there was this one time when my best friend was trying to get something into the station that she wasn't necessarily supposed to, but we just asked for the manager. It was fine, God, you just talk to the right people and you can do what you want.
I mean,
Isn't that life for everybody?
let's be real. This is kind of how we got into the situation with Nakatra in the first place. So you're clearly not wrong.
So do we work for the Legion if we're part of the Legion's rescue?
Everybody did for this specific job. Everybody was trying to earn money one way or another, but it was more just hey, you sign up, we'll pay you X amount of burr, and you go on this because they were trying. It was a very quick turnaround between the distress call and them wanting to get out there. So they were just like, "Hey, anybody who wants to volunteer?"
Officially members of the Legion or anything?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Unless you decide you want your character backstory to kind of go along with that, but as of now, I'm not tracking anybody who is a member of the Legion or in their employ long term. All right. Anything else? Anybody? We've done the Scooby-Doo squiggly back like twice now, so I'm just giving everybody one more chance. All right, cool. All right, so as you do, moving forward in time, back to the docking. There was Marcus, Lady Imogen, and Dent were at the airlock door, correct? All right. So, the airlock hisses open, and you are met on the other side of the threshold by a short man. The white hair combed over the top of his head is working overtime to attempt to cover up the obvious bald spot, and failing miserably. His face shows obvious annoyance at having to be there. He holds a data pad in one hand and begins speaking without making eye contact. I am Port Inspector Asul Harab, and this is irregular, highly irregular. This vessel is registered at Fatima's Bounty. It was not on any of the schedules for today, nor for the next 2 weeks, and as a point of order. This has to be some kind of emergency if you are planning on interrupting the regular flow of traffic in and out of my station. I run a very tight schedule here, and I do not appreciate anything that would throw that off. So why are you here? What can I do for you with this?
Emergency has happened, and we're here in an emergency state. Give him the brief rundown. It was like, look, man, we were on this this mission to do the thing that we were supposed to do. Our ship went through. Gate's gone. I don't know what the hell.
So as you're kind of giving him the rundown, and he's just like shaking his head, and he still looks extremely annoyed. Behind him, coming down the corridor, you do see an older man in a crisp blue uniform, flanked by 3 guards and 2 medics, and they are like double timing it, getting there really quick. And partway through your explanation, he claps Port Inspector Harub on the shoulder and kind of leans down, and he's not whispering, you can hear it, but it's meant for the port inspector. He goes, Inspector Harub, I've been asked to take care of this vessel. You've been called to docking bay 94. She's arrived. She's docked not 15 minutes ago. And then they get a little quieter, and they go back and forth, and then you see Harub's eyes go wide, and he quickly turns around and gets out of there as quickly as his little stubby legs will take him. And then as he kind of moves away, the older man in the white suit, or the blue suit, kind of turns to you and, my apologies to you for all of that. He was not made aware of the nature of your arrival. I am Dockmaster Marim Vishanti. Your vessel is registered as the Fatma's Bounty, it seems. The clearance, you have emergency re-entry, manifest unknown, your debrief status is pending. And then he kind of looks up at Marcus, and you see his more chiseled features kind of soften a little bit. We've been monitoring comms since the explosion, or whatever it was at the gate. We weren't sure anybody would be left after that. We were getting ready to scramble ships to look for survivors, but the Legion and the Colonial Agency told us that they did not want anybody going out until they arrived, and they won't be here for another 12 hours or so.
12 hours to Legion, noted. We've thank you very, very much for your accommodations. We greatly appreciate it. Obviously, it's something we deeply need. We have survivors here on board that we would love to get disembarked and at least into clean pants. Many of them have soiled themselves.
Yes. And then he waves the soldiers and then the two medics. Yes, we need to get them out. We have medical bay all set up. Anybody who needs it can go. We have rooms set up for anybody who is not severely hurt. As for yourself and anybody whoever was piloting this thing, we've got rooms, medical attention, whatever you need.
Thank you very much. We will be certain to take advantage of that. I do want to make sure that you and your staff are warned. Some of the cargo that we rescued from the Ghazali is very volatile. So please, me and my crew are very qualified. Some might say overqualified, the most qualified, really, to handle this sensitive material. So please just have your people concern themselves with the people. We will take care of the rest of the cargo.
Understood. And then as you have this particular interaction, out from behind the three of you, Sabbathpur, the woman you had made the agreement with, she kind of walks by all three of you, stops, taps Marcus on the shoulder. So, you've held up your end of the bargain, and now it's my turn. And then she pulls out a bird tag and puts it in your hand. 40, was it? I believe that's what we had agreed upon. So, thank you. And then she turns and looks at Marin. 9 crates, Marin. If you would set those aside for me, I will pick them up when things calm down. And then she hands him a small bird tag as well. And he just kind of looks at it, looks at her, and just kind of nods. But then he looks down at his data pad and he goes, 9. I'm tracking 10 crates inside. And then she looks at him, looks at you. I only have 9. That's theirs. And then she kind of nods at you, nods at him, and then just walks past. And then he looks back at you. Sensitive cargo, huh? And understood.
Very volatile.
Very, yes. It will. I will make sure that it is. It finds a proper home until it is picked up. At least the 9. The 1. Do you want me to just leave it on the ship for you?
We'll be able to take care of the initial moving of any of the cargo for you. We'll let you know when you can pick up the 9.
Understood. So, how many of you were in on this bargain? He looks at all three of you. Is there anybody else that I need to put up in special rooms?
Well, I assume that I was already given a lavish suite. I mean, rooms.
For the three of you, we could give one large
who
suite.
had.
And who do we have?
I'm the Lady Imogen Highborn the Sixth. Surely you heard that I had volunteered for this mission.
Give me a manipulation check +1 because of your status.
Okay, I'm having a total blank. On the sheet where it says the little blank plus blank equals blank equals the number I roll?
Yes, because that's your manipulation,
Okay.
which is 4, plus the empathy up at the top.
So I get 8.
The empathy attribute, yeah, so it'd be 8. And let me know if you get any 6s.
Yes, I did get some 6s.
Okay, then he kind of looks at you. Well, in that case, Lady Imogen Highborn, the 6th, will have her own suite. How many others are there? We can see what rooms we can scrape together for them.
I think
hey.
someone's comlink would suddenly go, turn on unexpectedly. It'd be like, we've got a crew of 6. We're looking for comped rooms. That would be great. Thanks.
Marcus was waiting for, with Imogen in control of some of the room situation. Like, if she's like in her own thing, then Marcus would be like, all right, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna hang on. Let me get my face back on. Yes, Lady Imogen, of course, needs all of the accommodations that she listed. Otherwise, we do have a total crew of 6. And
But that does include me.
We do have a set of suites for our more cultured guests. There is a main room and 2 attached servants' quarters. That should cover the 6 of you comfortably.
That should do. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Fantastic. Thank you. And again, you said Legion wasn't slated to be here for another 12 hours, you said?
About that, yeah. But it'll take time for everybody to get checked out, and I know everybody, including yourselves, is going to need to be debriefed once they get here, so we can figure out what happened.
No, we are definitely eager to speak with them once they arrive. So please do let us know once they're here and available.
And I know your ship is going to need to be here for at least 2 days before it can be released. So the room will be comped for you the whole time.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. And we will, of course, cross the bridge, the space bridge of departure when we come to it.
All right. So people are taken off. Is there anything your group would like to do prior to being escorted to your rooms?
If the folks, the cargo hold folks are out, I would like to lock the fuck out of the cargo room. Well, I mean, get the 9 boxes out, and then lock the Nakatra up in there. Make sure they're, or at least at the very least, make sure that the Nakatra are secured somewhere before we just go.
I would say. Oh, go ahead.
I would agree, but less locking them up and more for their own protection, making sure that they are safe and separate, because manners.
No, I would say that the cargo would be taken off not immediately. So you could definitely once the people are off, kind of lock off that cargo area temporarily.
And then I would say Egregious would finish up in the cockpit and would have joined them, I would guess, towards the end of the conversation. So once that guy leaves, I would probably be like, can somebody relay to me what's happening? Not that we have to actually do that. But.
No, but I would say Egregious, Shaba, and Fixer would all kind of, once everything is locked up, you'd all kind of come down at the same time. Let's see.
Would people have relayed to me the information about there being an extra crate?
Was there an extra crate? I honestly just heard that and went with it because
I'm just wondering what's in
that's
this
what
extra crate.
Yeah, Sabbathpour just told you to grab the crates. She didn't tell you how many. There were 10 in that area, and you grabbed all the ones that were in that area. but she did tell Merum
Did-
that only 9 of them were hers.
Didn't we have to lose 1 or 2 of them in order to accommodate the Nakatra?
No. You would have had to lose a few of them if the people would not have. No, the people who stayed back in the chapel that nobody went to go convince.
Right.
So you would have had to have figured out how many crates you were taking if those people would have come, but they're all dead.
Fantastic.
So you were able to take all the crates.
I appreciate their sacrifice.
They wanted to die. Why would we waste our energy on that? That's just... Yeah, no.
So, would anybody have
or
passed
shot
along
other
to
one.
Egregious the information about the crate? That conversation?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just. I don't think we need to check it out until they come and take whichever 9 crates are theirs. But I would definitely be interested in taking a look at that crate at some point.
All right. Anything else? Merum had departed prior to the 3 coming down from the cockpit. But if you're ready, one of the other soldiers would kind of walk you down and guide you to your suite.
Hey, Marcus,
Shaba.
are you comfortable leaving our other friends on the ship unattended, or should I keep an eye on them? How do you want to handle that?
Hoping that they're well locked up enough, then folks have been told to keep clear, that we can buy ourselves 12 hours. I mean, it wouldn't hurt if you...
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to spend a lot of time with the, furry fangs and claws and whatnot, but, I mean, I kind of like that we have the ship that everyone keeps calling our ship. Just, got a little investment here.
Yeah, no, I don't...
Did we just lock the cargo hold, or did we put them somewhere else?
You had kind of locked down that section that had the cargo in it, yeah.
Okay, because we definitely would want to be here when they come to take the crates. If we haven't gotten rid of the Nakatra first, because they're probably going to be a little bit surprised when they take the crates and there's
I think we can probably just arrange that, like, hey, we move people around and, like, we put up, like, a divider or something for a little bit, right?
We'll take the crates off for them.
Yeah, we have the load lifters, right?
Yeah.
Have a dent.
I mean, and that's also what I was technically hired for, too. So,
Technically.
I've definitely done a lot of heavy lifting.
Sure.
definitely seem like the manual labor type.
I know, right? Like, look at my nails. They're perfect still.
During that process, did any of us let the Nakatra know it's going to be 12 hours and we should have some control for them?
I don't think letting them know what the ETA is going to help anything.
You got it. All right, well, in
think
that case, if we're all good with them being locked up inside the hold, I will go, shower and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going to put it out there that, like, when we locked them in the hold, it was with lots of, like, food and water and entertainment. Not monitoring, like, a deck of cards or some shit. I don't know. But, so that they wouldn't... So they had something more than just, like, the walls of the place to look at, and hopefully there's a place to go.
So snacks and
Around the nature
sabak.
channel?
Yeah.
There's some stuffed animals or something.
To practice hunting on.
I think, yeah, something in the nature channel, something hunting, a couple lions going through some gazelles. I don't know.
All right. So then you are all ushered to your suite. There's a large kind of sitting area. Then there's 2 rooms, 3 beds each, and then 1 large suite with a single bed. That's about the size of the rest of the sitting room and the other 2 rooms combined. So you would be able to get clean, get washed, all of those things. Then about an hour after you are ushered into the room, I would say everybody has had a chance to shower and clean themselves off. You do get a chime at the door, and as it slides open, Merim Vashti, the gentleman in the blue suit who had talked to Marcus, kind of steps in the room and looks over all of you. He does lock eyes with Shaba and just nods. I was wondering.
Jabba nods back.
I was wondering if you would be here. So, and then he looks at everybody. It seems this little group has friends in high places, or at least people who enjoy what you've done. It seems that Fatima's bounty is yours now. At least half of it is. The rest of it we still own, but we have been convinced to give you half ownership in the ship and allow you the chance to pay the rest of it off, if you so choose. Or you could just let us have it and go about your own business. That's your decision. This is as far as I am required to go.
You know, a path to ownership sounds just great.
Can you remind me who this guy is? Who is he part of? Like, what organization?
All you know is he introduced himself as the dockmaster. He did seem familiar with Sabbath, but that's all that you're aware of.
What?
Jabba will ask him, any special requirements or strings attached other than monetary funds for that ship?
It needs to be cleaned and repaired over the next 2 days, but other than that, just paying off the other half of the debt on the ship, doing whatever you, he points at Shaba, or all of you together decide to do.
Who do you work for? I'm just curious why the dock master for the station would own half of the stake in the ship.
I don't. We do. The syndicate is far-reaching, and you'll find most people in the Third Horizon are more than they might seem. I have my job, and I have my allegiances. They don't always end up being the same.
Out of character, were we under the impression that the Legion owned the Ghazali?
The Legion owned the Ghazali, not this particular ship. You're not on the Ghazali, you're on the smaller ship that you left in. The Legion...
It was part of the contingent of the Ghazali or something, but...
When the Ghazali left, it had a bunch of ships. There was one ship docked inside of it, but there were a bunch of ships attached to it as well. It was kind of a almost like a convoy. And this just happened to be the only ship you could find that was attached and still in flying condition. And then he looks at everybody, and also, I need you all to come with me. She has asked for an audience with you. If you'll follow me. And then he kind of turns and steps out into the hallway, into the corridor.
Sean, is this the she that Shaba is familiar with?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, an audience? I didn't bring an audience outfit. Oh my gosh, I'm so unpresentable.
And then he kind of turns around as he...
Again,
Go
completely immaculate, as if like none of this has ever happened, like straight out of the fucking High Passion magazine.
He does kind of step out of the room, turn back. It is not every day the emissary comes to visit a station like this. It would be best not to keep her waiting.
Dent pauses and does like an arm lift sniff test on his pits, and he's like, "Are you sure? Can't wait like 10 minutes?"
Well, I would say that everybody had a chance to clean themselves. How well Dent cleaned himself is a very different conversation. But you would have had the opportunity.
would the emissary mean anything? To us or to me?
Everybody would know. Basically, about a year ago, from the gas giant Zine, the emissaries came. These are people. Think of them like prophets. They called themselves prophets of the icons. So, I'm sorry, emissaries of the icons, which would basically be like coming out of Mount Zion and saying you're a prophet of God and you talk directly to him.
Yeah.
But these emissaries were able to demonstrate powers. And as soon as the emissaries appeared, that is when the mystics started happening. People started gaining the mystical powers. Like that happened exactly as the emissaries appeared. There were 5 of them altogether. One went to Coriolis. The other 4 are kind of spread out, and one of them called themselves the Judge Incarnate, like basically saying they were a god walking among everybody. So basically think of it like, yeah, there's a prophet with magic powers who left Coriolis and came to this station and is asking to talk to you. Oh boy. Oh boy.
And does everybody believe in this? Like, is it a religious position?
Yes. Yeah, it would
Does
definitely be
everybody
religious.
believe in that? religion?
Enough people believe it that the emissaries were granted like a seat at the table on Coriolis. Like all the heads of the different factions have like a King Arthur's round table where they make decisions, and the emissary was granted a seat on that table. So enough people
question, Sean?
believe them they are to give them that. Not everybody. And not everybody who believes in them is happy about it. What was that, Tammy?
So the icons are the pantheon for this
Yes.
world. Are there any other religions that we're aware of, or is it pretty much just like all these planets, everyone believes in the icons in general?
That's pretty much how it goes, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can make your own cult if you want to.
Oh yeah. And there are like sects of the different religions. There's fanatics, there's people who aren't religious at all, but it basically boils down to the icons themselves as the major religion, yeah. All right, then we have a question. It is 9:30, and I know the whole point of this was not to go too late. We could roleplay this particular audience, or we can wait till Saturday and start with that.
I vote wait.
Okay. Because
I'm open
it'll
to
probably
talking.
be another easy 15, 20 minutes at the least, I would guess. So we can definitely
Oh,
wait.
what you're saying is like an hour. I'm using software development terms here. If a software developer tells me it's going to be 15 minutes, you're about a day in.
Well, you know what the best part is? So what took up the majority of the session, like the first hour and 15 minutes, I have on my sheet right here, allow players to RP if they want. Once they're ready to move on. So I just think it's funny. That line took an hour and 15 minutes. It was great. It was awesome. I love it.
It's better than the bridge.
Anything is better than the bridge. That will give me nightmares until the day I die.